Peace and light. Yeah, well, like it says, there's a lot of things being prepared right now. We're ready to go into battle. This is the final assault on the DS. All the gators are preparing for assault. Yep. Everything's big. Everything's big every day. 10 days to the 4th, yes. Yep. It's exciting times. Yep. Oh, the DS is, these unelected politicians are absolutely, they're something else. Yep. They're parasites. I haven't got enough contempt in my arsenal for what I want to do. Yeah, there's so much. I mean, this is such a critical time right now. An extremely critical time right now. Because we are basically, slapping down and pinning the opponent for the count of 3 at this point. And they're going to be fighting and struggling because they know when they get caught, it's over for them. They do not want to lose their freedom and their lives. Is today the day? Every day's the day. Every day's a fight. You wake up, you take care of yourself, you eat good food and get in the sun. We're just getting into the fight. And tore down the East Wing and all this other shit because it was all demonic in there. And they are putting a fortress in there, completely detached from anything on the outside world. Okay? That is a command center. Why is the command center there? Well, it's going to be there is because we're going to have after 120 days, once it's been announced, there's going to be new elections that is going to be operated from there. That is going to be unhackable. And the new elections will the whatever they're going to do, that's what it's going to be. So I guess they're not going to change things over right away, but I don't expect, whatever happens is going to happen. And the reason why they're doing it is to protect you, the people. And, when Trump says make America great again, he's talking all of America, right from the tip of South America to the very, very tip of Greenland. It's all the Americas. Make America great again. So if you've got a MAGA hat on, you're Canadian, you are an American, because it's North, South America, Central America. I mean, how much more obvious can it be? I don't get it. Oh, I'm Canadian. No, you're not. You're not Canadian. That's an incorporation, and you've been mind controlled to be a good little boy, go to work, and pay your taxes. There is no tax department anymore. Everything's a fraud. Absolutely everything. You go down to the bank, you deposit your money, you're contributing to the criminals. Princess Di is still alive, and we're going to get John F. K. Jr. In the new White House bunker, and he's going to be the one. He's going to be operating. And you don't think that he has vengeance for his father and his uncle's death? I watched it. It's taken me my whole life to have all this stuff rotating around and figure things out. When he was 5, I was 8, watching the promulgate of his father's funeral. Yeah. And that will burn. That burns a brand into my brain for life. What's the start date? Well, the start date after the 120 days, I expect it to go. We're going to have to go through a World War III event. A lot of shit's going to get blown up. A lot of satanic shit's going to get blown up. Okay, stay in your bunkers. Stay in your foxholes, because it's gonna get crazy. Keep your phones plugged in, because that's going to trigger as I've been maintaining all along, the World War III is going to start blowing shit up all around, okay? And that's going to trigger the EBS. And once that trigger the EBS, that's going to shut down everything, in a lot of places. They're preparing this bunker system. It will be ready on or before the 4th of July. It's going to be ready for operations, and nobody or nothing can penetrate it. The big, huge jet that was donated by Cotter, that was just all a bunch of bullshit. No, that is a base of escape. It's basically an escape pod for a possible nuclear attack, but I don't think that's going to happen. But these are the things that we have to protect our leaderships. This is where they're going to really attack. In these final days, they're going to come at everybody with everything. And they're they're running out of money because they have no more supply line to receive their money from. It's pretty easy to, distinguish the left, the crazy lefts. Very, very easy. They're the ones with the eyes that go like this, right? They're frothing at the mouth. Yeah, and there's a lot of innocent people got caught up in the in the drug addiction, whatever. A lot of those people have just been they're drug addicts and stuff like that. But other than that, they might more likely be innocent. But there are a lot of because they threw everything out there: alcoholism, drugs, all kinds of stuff. Just don't play in that game. We have homeless that is at epic levels right now in North America, and it's proven now. Okay, and I'm going to say this in kind of a roundabout way because that little state that's in the Middle East next to Jordan, okay, and the United States. So no matter what you think in appearance and what it looks like out there, as talking with each other and shaking hands and all this shit, there is a war going on to bring down the DS and all the unelected gators that are out there. These gators, they know that they're going to be transformed into alligator coats and shoes. Let our beautiful military take care of it. They've been preparing for this for years and years. And pray for our young, brave men and women out there that are fighting this fight. They are there to protect you. Us digital warriors are there to bring truth. Okay? Bring the truth and awareness, so people don't get scammed and beat up and line up like little sheep, waiting for their fifth or sixth booster. Have America ever not been at war with another country? Well, they were used and abused by the little state in the Middle East. Okay? And the NAZIs have infiltrated since World War II. Okay? Before that, they were at war with themselves against the Democrats. The Democrats are aligned with the NAZIs. They always have been. The NAZIs go way back before World War I. Okay? Yeah. They really started stepping things up. Where we went down and where the West was basically the beginning of the end for the West was when they took control in 1913 and invented the fraudulent Federal Reserve. Those are all the banksters that did that. And then you were required to pay taxes and taxes on this and taxes on that. And you got to pay for this. It's all bullshit. It's all lies. That's why I said, don't pay your taxes. Why do you pay taxes to your enemy? You may as well just take it out of your wallet, go onto the street and give it to the first bad guy that goes by. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Like, stand your ground. I mean, Kevin J. Johnson, he's almost a billionaire now. He was flat out broke when he was in Calgary some, 7, 8 years ago. They were going to arrest him and throw him in prison in Canada, for as long as they could. Right? Yeah. And, he escaped to Panama or wherever it was in Central America, wherever he could be now. And that's his base of, that's his war room down there, attacking the criminals up in Canada, because he's not allowed back in Canada. He's and there's many of them like that, right? There's a lot of, there's a lot of patriots out there that have left Canada, but I'm kind of dug in here in my foxhole here, for the time being, and I hope to be making it back. I hope the reason why I'm back here because I was expecting to have all this RV and everything done, and because everybody has to be back in their own country to collect their money. They have to be. I know that for sure. That Trump is going to send everybody back. This is what, the signing of the NACERA by the 209 countries. If you want your money, wherever you were born, your money, your home country will be there to give you the money. That's why I'm back here, because I thought this was going to go down already, but it didn't. And nothing will go down until we get into this, until we get into the guts of it. World War III guts. Until then, that'll trigger the ABS. And then at that point, everything will get shut down because of this world event. They'll just martial law everything, right? And then on the other side, we'll be, so it looks like I'm slated to go back down in the fall, back to the Philippines. I am really hoping all this shit's going to go down in July, August at the latest. I heard when the solar flash is happening. Well, it's always happening. There's a lot of geopolitical, what do you call it? Frequency. Yeah, it's keeping us on our toes. No, I don't know if it's going to be putting us to sleep for 3 days. I can't. That's too out there. There's so much misinformation out there. It's so, really use your discernment, use your common sense, your critical thinking. Use this thing here, what God has gifted you, and open up your pineal gland by staying out in the sun. It's okay. Really, it's okay. It's okay to get a bit of a sunburn. I can't do it all the time, but basically when you start feeling hot and red, whatever, get out of the sun. There's no, unless you fall asleep. Yes, there's NPCs everywhere, dear. Not much we can do about it. We just got to, we got to be able to have the smarts to recognize them, right? I see them every day. They're black eyes. Well, I think you're going to see the World War III event. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening, and that's got to happen first, right? That's got to happen first. There is chatter that today is the day for 48 hours. It could be in the U.S. I know this blackout can go anytime. I know that we have criminal elements in the G8. All of them are criminal elements. They are not your friend. The banks are not your friend. Hospitals are not your friend. Cops are not your friend. Okay? They've got everything against you. The school teachers out there, they have been paid to put a curriculum together against your children. Okay? The whole system is against you. That's why I'm saying your straw man, okay? All your ideas on your straw man, a dead entity. You want to, be a living man or woman? You want to be a living man or woman? Go down and get some cards made up with your face. Put your name, only one name. You don't need to have 3 different names. You don't need to even have a family name. Just the name that you want, the name that, either your parents give you or a nickname or whatever you want to put it on there, how you want to be identified. One name, and then put your email in there. Maybe the country that you were born and the year that you were born. You don't even have to put the month or day. Just put the year you were born, maybe, in what country. That is your true identity. If they want to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you through your email. Don't put a phone number down there. All you're doing is asking for trouble. If they want your phone number, then you can vet them through your email, right? Contact me through email, and as you feel fit, you can give them, hand out your phone number later. They designed the phone number for you to be attacked. You take a look at all the junk shit that you got coming in on your phone number. Just tell me if there's anybody out there that doesn't have anything attacking your phone number. I'm sure everybody's out there is getting attacked every day. I eliminated all that by not having a phone number. But I'm talking to you here now. I'm being able to message anybody I want to message. Most people got Facebook. And if they don't, I say, well, message me over on Telegram. But I don't. That's just for my inner circle. If you want to pay a bill, take the cash down to your bank and pay the bill through your bank, and that's it. Leave $200 in there minimum or maximum. Otherwise, it's going to get scooped up. The banks are not your friends, and they're going down. As you will see, we're still living in the matrix because all these corporations, banks, hospitals, grocery stores, gas stations, all that shit's still open. And as long as they're still open, we're in the matrix. Everything will stop when the EBS hits and the blackout comes, because then everything, when it gets to the other side, after 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long it's going to take in your particular region, once you get up and running, you'll see how things are going to be changed. Maybe no banks will be open. Maybe you'll get some emails, some notifications in your email to go hit a redemption center. And yes, the dinar is $40 to one U.S. Treasury note. 40 Treasury notes to one dinar. 29 Treasury notes to one dong. And Zim will be, only redeemed at a redemption center, all controlled by the military. And yes, everybody will have to go back to the country of origin. Where you were born, you'll have to go back there to receive your money. If you don't want any money being received through your Nasser Jacera or anything like that, then you can stay in your new adopted country. It's up to you. But this is how Trump is going to remove all the bullshit from these countries. Because we're being invaded. And they've let that invasion go because to wake up, the sleepers. Everybody that's listening and kind of assimilating with what I'm saying here right now is awake. You're awake with this stuff. Anybody that is, fighting and being a troublemaker and causing chaos and trouble, or throwing negative comments out there, they are the enemy. It's really that simple. They're the enemy. They're being watched by Space Force. They will be caught in time. They will be caught. And they're going to, be sent to Longbeard. The military is not going to put up with this bullshit no more. And neither will we, the people. Yes, the 250th celebration will happen in Washington. And it's, World's Fair and whatever. You have to understand that the Federal Reserve was created just after Tartaria and all this flooding went down. Tartaria and all this stuff, once they eliminated the advanced technologies and, very, very smart advanced technologies that we had, once that was done, then that's when, you know, their takeover of the United States was being done, all being controlled through the Lords of London. Yeah, they took control. They came in through the back door, and you know, developed and invented the very, very ruthless Federal Reserve and printed money. They just printed money and lent it out to you, illegal money, phony money, lent it to you and charged you interest on it. And everybody bought it, hook, line, and sinker. They bought it, and they've been buying it for generations. It's all going to stop. Let's hope the next attempt at Trump goes, you know what? You people are so twisted out. Robert at home, yeah, you know what? Stay in your basement, dude. Because you're not going to, you know, I mean, you've been a failure all your life. And you're going to continue to fail throughout your life. And then you're just going to die. I don't mind going against the left. I'm, you know, they don't bother me, they don't scare me. And if they get too close, I take care of it. Well, I'm not famous. I'm just out there doing it's not just me. Everybody's out there. Jaco's on, you know, he's fighting his fight. Mel K's fighting her fight. You know, Mark Z's fighting his fight. John Dowling is fighting his fight. Everybody's out there. We have so many patriots out there. Look at, you know, 107. Yes, you know, 107. He's an inner, you know, he's right up there. He's got great intel. And so does Gene Decode. You know, so does Nino Rodriguez. They're attacking him left, right, and center. He ends up in a hospital. This goes on and on. The fight's on, right? We need the planet to wake up. But, you know, we have maybe what, 10%, 11% of the planet right now is fighting against the very, very weak 1%, if they might even be 1% of 1% of the DS as our gators. But they have, you know, those are the top level gators, and then they have, you know, another 7 or 8% in followers and mind controlled either clones or NPCs that are out there. And like I said, I've always been maintained, you know, you want this thing to stop right away, and I think this could happen, is that they're going to do a strip search on every person on the planet to identify them, because that's exactly what Putin did with Russia. As they caught the escapees, they did a strip search. You know, they were throwing, even women, they were throwing into the front lines. And even the women were having Nazi tattoo, you know, Russian females, soldiers. And so the men were being strip searched by the men Russian soldiers. And that's how they identified them. And you're not going to believe some of the stuff that they uncovered. You're not going to believe it. They were, you know, the Russian soldiers were in shock once they took off their uniforms. You know, all this is going to be, you know, on the table very, very soon. This right now is what's going on. They call it a soft disclosure. But anybody with any intuition that knew and had any type of sense of reading between the lines, seen it a long time ago, how this is unfolding. I'm having, you know, I mean, this is, for me, this is a fight. Every day is a struggle to try to keep up on all this, you know, of all the fireworks that are going on. I call it the internet firework show. It's just, you know, it's, you know, they are trying to, they're trying to capture your mind. They're trying to take your, you know, they lost their mind control. The MK Ultra, you know, that was overpowering by people's minds for so many years, from 1947, 48, okay, right up to when we started waking up. And, you know, many woke up during 9/11. Some woke up even before that. A lot of them have passed over since then. But, you know, they've sent that message on. And, you know, and now we're having a lot of starseeds, and our babies are coming in. but we have a lot of it's a fight because we have a lot of people, a lot of mothers, young mothers, that are waking up saying absolutely no cocktail, absolutely zero. I have never believed. I have never. I mean, other than when I was a child and got my polio shot when I was in 1955, and a couple of other shots that was in grade 1 or grade 2. It's all absolute poison. Absolute poison. I do not believe in anything. God gave you an immune system. Use it. And feed it with good product, good stuff. Eat chicken soup. I mean, I just got a chicken off the Hutterites there the other day, this big, massive turkey thing. I managed to, get my big hunting knife out and got that thing frozen. I got it cut and quartered and whatever. But today I'm gonna very excited because I got a big ass crock pot so she can do her little lunches and whatever she can have. And I says that you just keep that for yourself. I'm gonna get the big boy, and I got in there. So I'm gonna get the chicken today, and I'm gonna make a beautiful chicken soup today. Can't wait, and I'm gonna be able to enjoy. And that's really, really good food. Okay. Wash all your celery and everything you're going to throw in there. Wash it, put it in a big bowl of water. You get all that shit off of it. We have to fight back. And one of those things in fighting back is to take care of your body. We cannot have unhealthy soldiers out there. We are soldiers. We are Jedis, okay? We are fighting for this planet. This is a fight for this planet. But I thank you very much. But there are many, many famous people out there. Many. We're all going to start rising